Welcome to the Mean Street Podcast with Brandon Benefield.
Hey, what is going on here?
Adam Howell.
Okay, I need 33 1/3 pounds of bacon.
Alfred Romero.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm like a dumpster.
And Adrian Moss.
Let's do this!
We use the word revolution because this is a revolution.
Hold one, arm drag. Woo!
The millions.
What? That's the big wiggle.
Look at all of this crap in this ring.
Hold two, arm bar.
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
It's still real to me, damn it.
That's right, yet another podcast about professional wrestling. Seriously, guys?
Making their way to the ring at a combined weight of 776 pounds, the Mean Street
Podcast.
Hold three, the moss-covered, three-handle family Gradunzel. Two, sweet!
God almighty, the roof just came off.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Hey everybody, what's going on? This is the Mean Street Podcast, Quarantine Edition, once again, coming to you from across the interwebs. I'm B-Double Brandon Benefield, alongside my brother from another mother, because there's a couple that aren't here yet, but my one brother from another mother, A-Bomb Too Sweet, Adam Howell. What's up, man?
That's right, Brandon. I am here to deliver some unbiased journalistic integrity to all the meanies nationwide on this mean street that leads to a dead end. I'm here to silence the falseness by raising the standard. And Brandon, I have to say, this is quite possibly my favorite night of the year because I don't have to introduce anyone.
Oh,
I can just start talking about pro wrestling right here, right now, with no interruptions, because Alfred Abs isn't here yet. He said he's going to be here, but he's not here. Adrian, Big Moss Man, he's out there making the mean streets the nice streets.
Yep.
Brandon Benefield and Adam Howell, we're on the mean streets that lead to a dead end, raising the standards. Are you not excited about that?
Well, no, I'm kind of sad that they're not here, because that means I have to deal with you on my own.
Hey, listen.
Well, here's what I'm saying. So are you saying that normally you dread having to introduce the next person? Is that what you're saying?
Listen, I don't want you to put words in my mouth, because that's what fake news does, and that's what I'm here to stand against. So don't you fake news me.
All right.
Don't you fake news me.
Hey, man, careful.
You see that?
Put somebody's eye out with that thing. He's pointing his finger, folks, for those of you that are just listening.
Okay, well, I was pointing a finger at the camera, but I'm here to talk about some pro wrestling, and it's we're still doing the quarantine thing. It's still weird. Traffic still hasn't traffic has increased, but it's not what it was. It's just weird, man. How are you feeling about it all at this point? We're a week further than we were last week. Are you feeling any differently about the whole quarantine thing, coronavirus?
Let me kind of break the fourth wall here a little bit and go pull the curtain back, if you will, for the listeners, and if you're watching us on YouTube, the viewers. But can
I just say that
Sure.
I always look behind the curtain. I just kind of.
Yep.
Hey there. Hey.
Yep.
Anyway,
Adam would be a curtain jerker, if you will. So. Three of us on the Mean Street Podcast, we all work together, and actually our office opened up last week. So we've actually been back to work, and we are somewhat on a bit of a normal schedule again, which is taking a little bit of getting used to, because we're like 2 months working from home. And the issue is our Mean Street studio at the office, we still have some restrictions, okay? And so there's a bit of restrictions in place on who can use it and how many people are allowed and all this kind of stuff. So that's why we're sticking to the quarantine version by doing these Zoom chats and connecting online. So if you're wondering why we're still doing the quarantine version of the show, well, that's why. So,
to speak to that, man, I actually prefer this.
Wait, you're supposed to say, yo, let me speak on this.
Yo, allow me to opine on this matter at hand.
All right, that's your version. It's
Okay.
no K-Dog, it's no Conan, but all right.
But I actually like this a lot better. like we can film, we have all this going on. I just need to get a microphone. So I apologize to all the meanies for me not having a microphone, because in my opinion, the best thing that could be recorded by any microphone is unbiased journalistic integrity, and I need the highest possible quality microphone in order to do that. So I apologize for not having that equipment necessary. But hey, you know what? I don't get paid for this.
Wait, what? You're not getting paid? Alfred's in charge of the paychecks.
No.
You need to talk to Alfred Abs about that. He's in charge of the pay for the Mean Street crew. By the way, as you mentioned, Alfred's not here. He's supposed to be here. I believe it. I mean, it is Thursday, so I think it's spaghetti night, and I think he might still be eating dinner. We're not positive on that, but he may just pop up here at any minute. So we'll see.
I'll be honest, man. If it was spaghetti night for me, I wouldn't be here either.
I told Alfred he needs to have us over for have Kimber make spaghetti for the whole crew, and then we could just record the show from his house while having spaghetti.
Yeah, spaghetti costs like nothing.
Right?
I'll ship it. I'll Venmo. Boop, 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 boop.
Whoa. Don't make it where we have to pay. Just come on, man.
Well, you know.
Anyways,
so today,
what's going on? Anyways, let's talk about something other than Alfred's spaghetti.
well, today's a big day. We're recording this on Thursday. It is 6:47 in the p.m. on June 11th, 2020, and today marks the 5th year anniversary of the death, of the passing of pro wrestling icon, booking icon, writing icon, legend. Wrestling would not be the same without him. The son of a plumber, the American dream, Dusty Rhodes. And I thought it'd be kind of cool if we take a minute. This is obviously no preparation. Well, no preparation on Brandon's part. I come prepared.
You got the Post-it notes back. You got the Post-it notes again.
That's right. I found them. I threw them last time. I think Alfred made me mad, and I threw them. So if you're watching on video, you have this is the reason why you should be a subscriber on YouTube. What is our YouTube address?
YouTube.com/MeanStreetPod.
Yeah. So this is the reason why you should watch on video, because right now you're getting the show notes.
If you can read it, it's like how you say doctors have chicken scratch.
Yeah.
It's kind of chicken. It's kind of, you're the doctor of the Mean Street podcast. So
I'm the journalist. I'm not a doctor.
Well, whatever. It looks like chicken scratch. I don't know if people can read that.
Well, if you can read my handwriting, if you're a YouTube subscriber, which you should be, you can see the exclusive show notes, the exclusive journalism Post-it notes.
And then what you can do is see if we actually stick to those notes, because you know how we be. Just poop.
Well, Brandon, that's I got you on that one, because it doesn't matter if we stick to those notes, because they're Post-it notes and they stick on me. So
I see what you did. Yeah, I see what you did there. So Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. Tell me about your earliest memory. So you really started watching wrestling in like
97-ish, somewhere in there. So when I was watching, he was doing more announcing, and then he eventually turned to the dark side and joined the NWO. So that's kind of the Dusty that I remember. I remember him being with like the Outsiders and kind of being more of a managerial type role with the NWO. My earliest memories of him.
I actually have to go back and look and make sure my memories line up right. Yeah, he was National Wrestling Alliance Territories, it says from 1974 to 1984. Jim Crockett Promotions from 85 to 89, which of course he eventually purchased WCW, and then World Wrestling Federation from 89 to 91. So I would say that my earliest memory, I knew who he was before he joined WWF. I don't have many memories of that, but I do remember, I would say my earliest memory was going, is that Dusty Rhodes? And with the yellow polka dots and Sweet Sapphire coming as his valet out to the ring. And I just remember thinking, like, okay, this is kind of cool. Like, as a kid, like 89, if that's when I saw him, I would have been 5 years old. And so I would have been like doing a little dance to Dusty Rhodes coming out of the ring. That's my earliest memory. As time went on, of course, he was in WCW from 1991 to 2001, where he also had a stint with ECW. I do recall him there, but honestly, the next big moment that I remember Dusty Rhodes, I think honestly, and this may be wrong, my memory may be a little hazy, but all of his work with NXT and just seeing like everything that he did to lay the foundations of that. What do you think about that era of his career?
Well, I think it was great for the current generation that we're seeing right now, because I think all of them will tell you that that was one of their biggest mentors when they went through the program, went through the NXT kind of training to become, to get to that next level of WWE. So I think, I think we owe him a lot for what we're seeing on our TVs today.
So much. I mean, obviously, like he even has a type of finish named after him, right? So if like the referee gets knocked out and then the it's reversed, it's a Dusty finish, you know. Like who else has a finish named after him? Nobody.
Right.
Nobody that I know of. I also read, I didn't know this because I've only heard AEW wrestlers refer to it as the go position, which in WWE, of course, and pretty much even in the indie promotions, I think they refer to it as the gorilla position.
Yeah.
Which is that position, if you don't know, it's that position right behind the curtain. And that's where you go and you're about to go out to the crowd. That's the gorilla position, named originally after Gorilla Monsoon, but in AEW apparently they refer to it as the Dusty position.
I want to say there's like I don't know, there's a sign or like a cowbell or a rope or there's something that they hang back there to signify that that's the Dusty position. I haven't heard it used a lot. I think I just read that somewhere. It might have been on one of the early YouTube videos from AEW or something where I saw that. But like you said, I don't think I've heard a lot of people reference that name. But I mean, I think that's kind of what they're gearing towards, to steer away from calling it the gorilla position, because that's a WWF thing, WWE thing. But like you said, it's kind of been all over the place. Any wrestling promotion we've been to or know about, they all call it just the same thing with the big screen. If you're in any indie show, they always call it their Titantron instead of their like entrance video. Wrestlers always refer to it as their Titantron, which is obviously the WWE has the Titantron. So it's just kind of funny how WWE has these, I don't know, trademark names for things that are just what everybody calls them.
Golly, that's a whole other side note. I would love to talk about the Titantron and when that first went up. It blew my mind. But going back to Dusty, man, what a legacy he has. And I was never a huge fan necessarily. Like he was cool, but I think I was born, and you and I were probably born too late to really to relate to his plight, to relate to what it meant to be a hardworking man and going through hard times, daddy.
Living in gutters and dining on pork and beans.
That's right. But so I think that we were born a little too late to really relate to that. But of course, we can certainly appreciate his work and his later work and everything that he did for the business. And of course, having two sons that have continued the legacy. And I will say that I am 35 years old. And I think I was 34 when I realized his name was a play on words.
All right.
Dusty Rhodes. Like, you go down the Dusty Rhodes, and then I was just like, it's actually, like, I remember when I realized that Hugh Morris was actually humorous. And I was like, oh.
He had all the question marks on him, like the Riddler.
Idiot. And then like, what was funny about that, this is a whole side note, what was funny about that is, like, I realized that like 2 years before the invasion, right? WCW to WWE, and then Stone Cold actually buries him. And do you remember this?
I maybe if I see it I might remember, but off the top of my head I don't.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, after the WCW invasion of WWE, just freaking buried Hugh Morris. Because he was like, he was during the what phase? He was like, your name is Hugh Morris. What? Hugh Morris. What? Is that funny? What?
Well, what's funny about Hugh Morris, with that being his gimmick, and I don't remember when he started or anything like that. We're, of course, MSP, so we're off tangent here, on a tangent. But did he ever like tell jokes on the mic? Did he ever cut promos that were funny? Like, why was that his name? I don't understand.
He did like a maniacal madman laugh a lot.
Okay.
Like
I remember he had the question marks on his outfit, like the Riddler or something, but I don't remember him ever really talking or like cracking jokes.
Yeah, he would just come out of the ring and he would do this like, and then stop, and stare at the camera. So like he was obviously like an insane person or whatever. But anyway, I don't know. I just like a play on words. I mean, it may take me 3.5 decades to get to it, but I'll eventually get it.
Well, there you go.
Man, I wish I would have had a play on words for my name. Adam.
How well do you?
Adam Bomb. A-Bomb too. Wait, I think Adam Bomb has it taken.
Well, A-Bomb, Atom Bomb. That's an A-Bomb. It's an atomic bomb.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, I lost you.
Adam.
I lost you. Frozen. Now you're back.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll work on it. Maybe I'll just create a new gimmick. I don't know.
Wait, so you're gonna create like a totally different name?
I might. I mean, like Brandy Rhodes, like completely changed gimmicks halfway through like the first year of AEW, so I can do whatever I want.
That's true. But here's the thing. I think the reason she changed it is because of the fan backlash of how bad that gimmick was going. So they decided to drop it. So are you saying that you're hearing from fans from MSP that are not liking your gimmick? Is that what you're telling me? Because I haven't heard this from the fans, so I don't know.
Brandon Benefield, if you ever look at me crossways again.
Oh, Alfred's here.
Alfred's here.
Oh, hello, guys.
What
hey, buddy.
There, pal?
Hey, pals. I was just hopping in real quick here on my.
Give us the old flip
Zoom.
on the phone.
Yeah, let's go horizontal, baby.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I doing this? Is this the way I need to be doing it?
There you go. There's your full face
screen.
There you go. Hey, guys. Yeah, I'm just checking in here, just dealing with some, some little family things going on. So I'm just, I had a couple of minutes to break away real quick. So I just
spaghetti night.
Yeah, exactly. So we're getting ready for spaghetti night, pal. How'd you call it?
Well, it's Thursday. It's Thursday. Every Thursday.
That's right. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there's a
Is it ghost?
Yeah, no. There's just Kimber getting some drinks out of the garage.
Nice.
So she's right there next to that front door. So I don't know if she was coming to the front door or not to see what the hell I was doing.
So Thursday night, spaghetti night. Thursday night is also the night that we record. I don't know, man. I like some damn spaghetti.
I told Alfred at work today, I said, if you should have us all over for spaghetti, and we'll record the show live on location from Romero for spaghetti night.
Yeah, we could just do it right from the garage.
Boom.
You'd feed us in the garage?
Yeah,
like
we can eat.
Some kind of rat?
Are we not allowed in the house?
I mean, we could be in the house, but I'm saying there's a lot more space in the garage. And plus, that way the kids wouldn't be in there, so it'd be, wouldn't be as loud.
I gotcha.
So we could eat the spaghetti as we do the show.
Yeah. Do you have an air conditioner in your garage?
I have a fan. And we can open the door, so I mean,
it'd be the one MSP fan.
Yeah. Nice how you do. What comedy.
Oh, geez. Hey, never bury yourself, Brandon. Ever.
I agree.
But it's so easy. It's just so easy to. Anyways, Alfred, we were talking about the late, great Dusty Rhodes. Today, as we record this, is the 5 years since he passed away.
My God.
Yeah. Do you have any first memories of when you first saw Dusty? So I mentioned my first real memories was in like 97-ish, 98. He was doing commentary, and then he ended up joining the NWO at one point. Adam was talking about the polka dot years in WWF back in the early 90s. You got any early memories?
Yeah, I mean, for those days of the polka dot days, I was just kind of getting into it at that point, but for me, I guess, yeah, the WCW days when he was commentating and joined the NWO. So, I think that for me was kind of like my first real first memories of seeing old Dusty Rhodes perform, man. So, but love going watching all his old wrestling matches and some of his old promos, because the dude is, charismatic. Is definitely, the guy wasn't built by any means, but people still love the guy. So I mean, it takes quite a person to be able to do that. So, and everyone loved him, even when he was in the NXT days, when he was kind of a mentor to all those guys coming up through the ranks. Seeing him kind of continue that knowledge and that experience, teaching the next generation. And there's no better way to learn from someone than someone who's been there and has accomplished as much. I mean, could you imagine could you imagine trying to get started in wrestling and Dusty Rhodes is the guy who's kind of taking you under his wings and teaching you everything. So could you? I mean, that's quite. That's
kind of like you taking us under your wing.
Right. Exactly.
So Alfred is the Dusty Rhodes of the Mean Street Podcast. If anybody wasn't already aware of that.
I didn't say it. Brandon said it, and I agree with it.
Well, I'm the son of an airline engineer, so
that's close enough.
You know, he's not a plumber, but he works on airplanes, so it's pretty.
So I've got two questions. The first is, did you know it's a DYK, the old A-Bomb Too Sweet DYK? Did you know that Virgil, aka Vincent, was named after Dusty Rhodes?
What?
Oh yeah, because that's his real name.
That's Dusty Rhodes' real name is Virgil Runnels, and so it was meant as a jab to Dusty Rhodes when he was in WCW. So they named a wrestler after him, a very jobby McJobberson wrestler.
Jobberson guy. Yeah.
The second question for you guys is, would Dusty Rhodes be on your Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling?
Ooh. Well, the Mount Rushmores are always such like personal preferences for everybody. So for me, because I wasn't super familiar with him when he was a legendary wrestler, you know, I didn't know about his stuff in the 70s and 80s until years and years later. So when I first started seeing him, like I said, I just knew him as a commentator and the guy that joined the NWO is kind of like a manager type kind of guy. So, and see, I don't mean to sound disrespectful by saying no, that he doesn't belong in the Mount Rushmore. But for me personally, I got to say no, just because I never really saw him wrestle. I mean, I've seen videos, matches like way after the fact, but at the time I didn't, know him as a wrestler.
No, that's valid. Alfred, what about you?
Yeah, I probably have to say I would have to agree. I never saw him wrestle, and those are different generations of how things were done. So, but I don't. I mean, as far as probably maybe not a wrestler, maybe like someone who's instrumental in the sport, as far as continuing to be a part of it, continue to be a mentor for NXT. I think maybe as an innovator, because I mean he was the guy who brought War Games. You know what I mean? So as far as an innovator and someone who has contributed, on that Mount Rushmore, I think I'd put him up there with that.
I think you need to put Mount Rushmores like in generations. Like
or generations. I think it needs to be different types. Like I think, it was Charlotte who recently said that she had different Mount Rushmores for different things. Like she had a superstar Mount Rushmore where it was like Hulk Hogan, John Cena, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and then she had like a technical one that had guys like Bret Hart in it.
Yeah.
So I think there's something to say about that. But honestly, when you think about contributions to the business, I feel like Dusty has to be on it just because of everything that he's contributed.
Yeah, that's a good point. But
so I don't know, because on my personal Mount Rushmore, I have Triple H basically because of his contribution through.
I hear you.
That is the loudest bird I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, that's Alfred's. It's Alfred's neighbors.
Tell them to shut up.
They're chirping at him. The neighbors are chirping at him.
But say it real redneck like. Go, shut up.
Shut up.
Good job.
Oh, he muted himself.
But so I have Triple H on my Rushmore, but it's for his contributions for NXT. But maybe Dusty needs to be there because Triple H was just kind of like the businessman behind that, and Dusty was actually like
hands-on,
where the passion was coming from and where the wisdom and experience was coming from. I don't know. I think maybe he should be on it. But let's
real quick, for the sake of us kind of paying tribute to him on the 5-year anniversary of his passing away, we'll say he belongs on the Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling, for sure.
You're daggum right, Brandon Benefield. About time that your standard was raised. Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
And the silence and the falseness was silenced.
You daggum right.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, I hate to have to do this to you guys, but I have to pop off out of here. But I wanted to, just wanted to pop in for a few minutes for all my fans out there wondering what was going on. So,
Well, thanks, buddy. I don't want
Just-
I don't want your meatballs to get cold. So.
well, I appreciate you guys.
Wait,
you guys are
wait.
the best.
What song is that? I hear a song in the background.
It's. Oh wait, hold on.
Hey, Kimber.
No, I was doing the podcast real quick. I'm coming in. I'm just making an appearance.
Supper's
Yeah,
ready. Alfred's got to
I'm
go.
coming. Yeah, I gotta go. Damn
Go
it,
ahead, buddy.
guys.
Go ahead, buddy.
Go
All
warm,
right.
hey, Alfred, do me a favor. Go warm up those meatballs, okay?
All right. I'm sure this is not gonna be cut out, is it?
Pop those meatballs right in the microwave. Heat them up.
Yeah.
And-
I'm sure.
In the microwave.
Yeah.
So this will hit
Shove
the
them
and I'm sure this will make the editing room floor right there, Brandon.
No, man, this is gold. This is why people
No.
tune in.
All right. Well, if I'm still available, I'll check back in later.
All right, love you too, buddy.
All right. See
Love
you guys.
you.
You're the best.
All right, bye, buddy.
Bye.
Be careful.
You know what, Brandon? I don't think he meant it when he said that we were the best. I didn't see any truth in his eyes.
Sometimes he says things just to try to get us off the line. But
You think he's a liar? You think he would have lied to us?
Ribber, he's a ribber. I think he's
Rib-
lying. It's a joke. He's just playing a little joke.
Ribbed for her pleasure.
Oh God, I don't know. Anyways, so you were about to move on, and we were going to move
Moving
on.
on. Let's talk about how difficult it is still. Let's just spend 2 minutes on this. How difficult it is to be watching pro wrestling right now. I've been having wrestling. I haven't told anyone this.
Uh-oh. This is an exclusive, MSP exclusive right here.
Will you put the graphics in on that?
Sure. Yeah.
And the sound effects and everything.
Yeah, of course.
All right, play them right now.
Got it. They're playing.
MSP exclusive. Thank you, Brandon. That's great. I've had wrestling dreams that I'm like at shows.
Yeah.
I've had wrestling related dreams several times of being at packed shows, and I actually end up like hanging out with the wrestlers.
Do they involve Scarlett Bordeaux?
No, we'll get to her.
Oh, okay.
We'll get to her. The first one, honestly, was with Charlotte. And
Okay.
I think I was with you guys or something like that, and we were like, we went to go see a Raw or something, and then like afterwards we were at like Denny's, and we were just it was like Mean Street hanging out with Charlotte.
Huh.
And then like I made a comment about someone else being really good, and she got mad at me, and I was like, I meant to say Charlotte, and just to try to appease her. And then I had another dream there.
Did she believe you though when you tried to change it? Did she believe that you were sincere?
I don't remember after that.
You woke up.
Yeah.
Oh.
But then another dream was I was hanging out with Matt Cardona, and we were talking about wrestling figures after a packed show with thousands of people in the arena. And then we were talking about wrestling figures. And so I think that it's just getting into my subconscious, man. It's getting into my nitty gritty. You know what I mean? It's getting down in there. And like, I have to go see live pro wrestling or even just see it on television. Brandon, are you having the same issue? Are you just like craving it?
Well, I mean, we've talked about this before, but like, and I've tried to enjoy what's on television, what they've been giving us for the last couple months, and you know, I've admitted on here that I am somewhat enjoying the AEW stuff, but even that, it's just hard to watch without a real live audience of thousands of people. I mean, I appreciate that they're putting the wrestlers around ringside, and that helps give it a livelier feel. But man, it really it's been tough to watch. And you know, we've talked to a couple of our wrestler friends from SHW, and even they've admitted that like, guys, it's just tough to do. It's tough they've said that they've noticed watching the workers on WWE and AEW, and they can tell by watching them on TV that it's hard for them trying to perform in front of, I don't want to say nobody because there are people there, but in front of no crowd, no actual fans. I mean, they're performing in front of other workers, other wrestlers, you know, from the roster. So it's just, yeah, I think it's tough for them, and it's definitely tough for us to as we're watching at home. But I miss the live atmosphere. I even miss, you know, even the local shows, SHW. Like, I miss being amongst the crowd. I miss the NWA shows. Those are fun, even though that's not a huge crowd. That's what's kind of fun about that. It's like only 100, 150 people. And those are just a blast. And I just miss being around all those folks, man, all those like-minded individuals. And like we said in the past, like that's like wrestling, just like going to a sports ball game, but going to wrestling, you're around a bunch of like-minded people. You're all there for the same reason and having a great time. And I miss the camaraderie. And yeah, I miss that live atmosphere for sure.
Agreed, man. And it's kind of funny because like over the past 2 years, I guess, we've missed WWE as it's gone through Atlanta. And honestly, it was just like forgetful. Like, yeah, I don't want to go. Like, hey, do you want to spend $80?
Has it been about 2 or 3 years ago that we went? Because we went to Raw with a group. It was me, you, and like 4 or 5 others.
Yeah,
I guess it has been a couple years. Yeah,
it's been 2 or 3 years. But in each subsequent time that Raw or SmackDown came through Atlanta, I was perfectly okay with not spending $80 plus another $60 on beer and nachos, and just skipping the event because number one, like the WWE product was kind of going down, and we were more enamored with what the Elite were doing in New Japan and Ring of Honor, But now, dude, if they announce WWE Raw at State Farm Arena tomorrow for $150, I would freaking be there. Like, there's nothing that, like, I'm going to get, like, dude, when wrestling opens back up, dude, I want to go see, I don't know if you remember this, but I think it was like 2016 or 2017, maybe 2018. Like, I went to, like, 6 wrestling shows, like big wrestling shows that year, more than I'd ever done in a single year. Like I went to NXT, I went to Ring of Honor, I went to Raw, I went to NXT, I went to anything that was going through. It was a lot, and I went to all of them.
This year had the makings of being similar to that because starting in January, and even back in December, I think we had hit NWA, and then January came along, and I think like Impact was in town. Another NWA show, New Japan, definitely WWE hit town. Then AEW was coming to town, and all of this stuff we were lined up to go see, and then it just kind of fizzled out once the pandemic started coming into play, and so it sucks, man. And so now that's got me chomping at a bit more because we had kind of set it up like, 2020 is going to be huge. We're going to go to all these shows, and then.
Yeah, well, let me just tell you, as soon as all these restrictions are lifted, I want to go see a new wrestling show every single month. Like, I want to go, and I want to, like, I'm just going to be like freaking Hulkamania. Like, I'm going to be ripping my shirt off, and it's going to be freaking awesome. No, leave it on. I don't want you to be offended.
I mean, that's the only reason, because I would feel like bad about myself. So, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because we saw you showed the guns last week or the week before, so yeah, cut that out. Anyways, but yeah, man.
I skipped chest and stomach day, don't worry.
You just do the arms? That's weird. I mean, I guess.
Curls for the girls, man.
All right. Curls for the girls.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah. Anyways, well, hey, I can't wait for it all to come back, and even on the local level, it's going to be exciting. But we kind of touched on AEW there for a second, and I do want to make reference to anybody that's watching at home. If you see what I'm wearing, I got that old Alan Angels merch, our old pal from SHW, which, by the way, you can pick this up. It's Alan Angels t-shirt for those of you that aren't watching and you're just listening. You can grab this at ProWrestlingTees.com. Just search for Alan Angels. You can also pick up a handful of MSP shirts.
Yeah. I've seen a few out in the wild lately.
Yeah. ProWrestlingTees.com/Mean Street Pod. We got some of our pals out there picking up some merch, and we really appreciate that. So do yourselves a favor.
You know my favorite thing to do is when the meanies, they're wearing the Unbiased Journalistic Integrity T-shirt, which is black, and they run up to me and they're like, A-Bomb, will you sign my shirt? And I'm like, all right. And I get a black Sharpie and I sign it so they can't see it.
You sign it on the black part, yeah. So why do you do that? That's not cool.
Because it's the only Sharpie I had, and also it's kind of funny.
All right, well, So any meanies out there, just be sure you have a silver Sharpie. If you see a silver Sharpie, if you ever see A-Bomb out in the wild,
I'll sign it.
Yeah, silver Sharpies. Otherwise, it's not going to show up. Anyways, speaking of Alan Angels.
He nailed it.
Yes. Speaking of Alan Angels, so we got to give some props to him because he's obviously been showing up on AEW here and there, and he had a great match with Kenny Omega. He had a great match with Rey Fenix not too long ago. And as of this past week on AEW Dark, they had a backstage vignette where he's actually, I guess, being accepted or inducted into the Dark Order. So now he's known as 5. Whereas, we saw Preston Vance, a.k.a. Cody Vance, joined, and he's known as 10. So now Alan Angels is here, and he's known as 5. I take that to mean, I guess, he's officially signed a contract with AEW. We'll have to try to get him on MSP here at some point to kind of get the inside scoop, some of the backstage gossip there, and figure out what's going on. But I am curious about this. So he's known as 5. Evil Uno is known as 1. You got Stu Grayson is known as 2. And then there's Reynolds and Silver. I can't think of their first names, but they're 3 and 4. Allen is 5. Preston Vance is known as 10. So who the heck are 6, 7, 8, and 9?
I think that they're actually just working up to be able to do like interpretive dance of the Steiner math promo.
Okay.
I think so. Like 33 and a third will fly in,
Mm-hmm.
and then they'll just go from there.
Okay. Well, that'll be interesting. I can't wait till they do that. Hopefully, they'll wait for the live audience before they get that far.
So does this mean that Allen is half the man that Preston Vance is?
That's a good question. No, because I mean, you got Evil Uno's 1, Stu Grayson's 2. They're not half the men or 1/10 of the men.
How do you think they get the number designations? Like, is it like how long you can hold your breath in the swimming pool?
5 seconds, 10 seconds, or are we talking 5 minutes or 10 minutes?
No, you die. Or maybe it's how many hot dogs you can eat in a hot dog eating contest.
That makes the most sense. So I'm pretty sure that's probably it.
I'm pretty sure Preston Vance can beat Alan Angels in the hot dog eating contest.
Which is why he would be 10 and Alan would be 5. That makes total sense. And again, we'll try to get Alan on the show here at some point in the near future, and we can ask him about that and see how many, if he in fact could just get 5. You know, could we press him? Could he get more than that in a certain amount of time? We don't know, but we'll find out. That's because that's what we do. We ask the hard hitting questions and we get the scoops. So we'll figure.
Well, let me just first say, whatever the situation is, I think that's an amazing feat for Alan Angels to be in the right place at the right time with the right amount of talent and the right amount of ring presence. Like everything is just lining up so well for him. I'm super happy for him. Of course, his dad, friend of the show, I know is happy for him. Papa Angels out there, we love you. But man, that's just awesome. I mean, the people that he's had wrestling matches with right now. I mean, Kenny Omega, he's had a wrestling match with Kenny Omega. And now he is in one of the hottest stables in pro wrestling going right now on a national television network, TNT. The future is whatever he wants it to be, man.
Hey, speaking of that, the hottest faction you're talking about here, I don't know if you've kept up the last couple of weeks with either Dark or Dynamite, but they're trying to recruit your boy, Boom Boom, Colt Cabana. Have you seen this?
No.
So, yeah, so they've kind of been going after him the last couple of weeks, not beating him up or anything, but just coming out after a match and saying like, hey, come join us. So last night on Dynamite, he actually lost a match to Sammy Guevara. Boom Boom Colt Cabana lost the match. I know, trying to put over Sammy, I guess.
How about X-Pac heat, man?
So after he lost the match, out comes the Dark Order. They help. Brody Lee goes over and he helps him up, and then they all walk out. You know how they have like the bad guy tunnel and the good guy tunnel?
It's a heel and face.
Oh, is that what it's called? Is that like the insider terms? Heel what was it? Heel and
you jabroni Mark.
Heel and face. What the jabroni Mark? What language are you speaking? Anyways, you're speaking Carney. Speaking of which, that's a whole other topic. We'll talk about NWA Carney land here in a minute because I haven't watched it yet, and I'm curious your take on it. But so they all go down the heel tunnel. You expect Colt Cabana to get up and walk down the face tunnel, but he looked a little confused. He kind of looked around like he was thinking, and he went down the heel tunnel. Then they showed a shot backstage, and Dasha tried to catch up with him. Like, Colt, what's going on? And he just walked right by her, and he walked into the locker room that had the sign for the Dark Order. And that's the last we saw. So we don't know what's going on. What's going on, Adam? Is Colt Cabana joining the Dark Order?
I don't know, but to be honest, this world would be a whole lot more simple if every building had a face and a heel entrance.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Like, just kind of go ahead and put it out there, like police station, face and heel entrance. Grocery store, face and heel entrance. And then that way we know.
Yeah. Not messing with that guy. That's the cashier I want.
Yes.
He came out of the face tunnel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're into heels. I don't know. I don't know.
That's what the NWO started that. They made the heels cool. And then next thing you know, half the population cheers for the bad guys. So it's like going to Canada. It's Bizarro World.
What was the NWO the first group of wrestlers that made being the heel cool?
I think so, but again, that's like right when I first started watching. So that was kind of my introduction. Was like, what? Aren't these guys supposed to be bad guys? But they're so over, and everybody's wearing NWO shirts in the audience. Like, what's going on here?
Because they still got booed like crazy, and I just think about like Stan Hansen in New Japan and stuff like that. Like when he was over there, like he was over like crazy, but he was the heel.
I wonder though if over there it was more of just like it was so unique to see like a big American guy over there doing the crazy things he was doing. So and those kind of audiences, the Japanese audience is so different anyway to American audience. I don't know. That's a good question.
He's one of the 3. Actually, I have an updated list of my 4 scariest wrestlers of all time, like the wrestlers that actually scared me. Stan Hansen, Big Van Vader, Abdullah the Butcher, Luna Vachon.
She was scary.
Man, she scared the crap out of me. I was like, no woman should look like that.
Yeah, and the voice. It was a scary voice. Yeah.
Who scared you?
I mean, I was of the age when I started watching where like I was already aware that it wasn't,
Brandon, I know how scared you are.
All right. So, Doink the Clown, New Jack, Hornswoggle.
Who would Brandon be scared of?
Hornswoggle and Vampiro. Those are my 4.
You would be scared of, in the Attitude Era, you would have been scared of the Headbangers.
Really? Yeah.
Val Venus.
No, I was jealous of Val Venus.
And I don't know who else. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What else do we have here? Let's take a look. Let's take a look at Adam's notes here. We have NXT Takeover In Your House. Man, what do you think about that? Did you watch it?
So that was pretty cool. And here's the thing. So the original In Your House pay-per-views, I was not keeping up with. I don't really remember. But when I turned on, so when was it? Sunday? Was it Sunday or Saturday? It was Sunday, right? So Sunday afternoon, maybe it was Saturday. I can't remember.
Saturday.
Whatever day it was, I knew it was coming on that night. So I just went ahead and popped on the network to see what was leading up to it. And they actually, on the menu of the network, because I guess it was like the 25th anniversary of the first In Your House pay-per-view, 25 years as of a couple weeks ago or something like that. So they had the first ever In Your House pay-per-view on the network, like on the main page. So I thought, I'll just flip that on. And so I was kind of keeping that on up until the new pay-per-view was about to start. And so I actually ended up watching most of that. And it was kind of fun. It was pretty cool. And then so once the NXT version started and I saw the set decoration, and they even had, I can't remember the host guy name, Todd something, or I don't know.
Todd Pettingale.
What was it?
Todd Pettingale.
Yeah. So he was there, but I had just watched the original one. And so I was like getting all of the little references. Oh, okay, this is pretty cool. And they were doing like little kind of jokey commercials, which was different for NXT. And even like Triple H did the post-show Facebook Live, and even he was kind of talking about that, how it was a little different for NXT because NXT is always the brand that's like more straight-laced, more serious, more gritty. And it was just kind of different for them to kind of lighten it up a little bit with the kind of the silly commercials and stuff. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. And, of course, the matches – for NXT takeovers, the matches are always phenomenal. So even with the lack of a live, thousands of people there, I still thought it was a heck of a show for sure.
They did really good with the pro wrestling glass that was around the arena. It wasn't hockey glass, because if it was hockey glass, it would be a hockey game.
I learned that last week. Yeah,
I'm here to educate you. That's what I do. But it was pro wrestling glass. And so I thought that was a pretty good touch. Of course, we started off with a six-woman tag match, which I'll be honest, I didn't really pay much attention to that match. Finn Balor defeated Damian Priest. And then I'm going to get back to that match. But then we have Keith Lee, who retained did he retain or did he have it? Yeah, he retained.
He retained against Gargano, which, by the way, what does the wrestling glass do if they're just going to throw somebody through it? How is that keeping the people on the outside of the glass safe? But that's neither here nor there.
You're assuming that pro wrestling glass serves the same purpose as hockey glass. That's your first mistake.
No. I'm saying it's serving the purpose of the COVID-19 scare, where it's trying to keep the fans, the NXT behind the scenes people, the fans that are in attendance, supposed to keep them protected from catching the coronavirus, supposedly. But then if you're going to
there's no COVID-19 in pro wrestling, Brandon.
All right. Well, then why'd they put the glass up, Adam?
Because to throw somebody through it.
Oh, that was so this whole time it was like they were playing a long game. So a few weeks ago when they first started putting it up, that's what they were doing this whole time, was like, wait till we get to the pay-per-view and then it's all going to pay off because Keith Lee is going to throw Johnny Gargano through one of these panes of glass.
In the biz, they call that a slow burn, baby.
Wow. No, I mean, it makes sense now that I think about it. Man, that's good stuff. That's good shit.
I'm silencing the falseness, man. The next match was Adam Cole and Velveteen Dream. Solid. Well, let's talk about that. That was the last chance backlot brawl for the NXT Championship. So since Dream obviously lost, and since he lost, he cannot challenge for the championship as long as Adam Cole, Bebe, is the champion. Did you watch this match? What do you think about it?
I did, and I posted shortly thereafter a comparison of a picture of William Huckabee laying through the broken windshield from his match with Joe Black a couple months ago at SHW, next to a picture of Adam Cole laying in the broken windshield of the car from NXT. And yeah, I appreciate the effort. I think Joe Black and Huckabee was a much better match, and I think they did it first. They did it better. But I just think with Adam Cole and Velveteen Dream, both of those guys are such high caliber wrestlers. They could have done something so much better. I felt like they also did it kind of cinematically too, with like the different cuts and the way they filmed it all. It wasn't like your regular match, but I don't know. I had higher hopes for it because when I saw that it was on the card, I thought, oh man, this is going to be amazing. And the fact that I knew it wasn't going to be, or I found out as I watched the show that it wasn't going to be the main event, I also thought, okay, well, why is this not going to be the main event? It should be. And they ended up making the women's title the main event, I believe, I think. But anyways, I almost wonder, and we never really talked about this when it happened, but is Velveteen Dream still have heat because he sort of kind of got in trouble for sending an inappropriate text to an underage person or something like that? And I never really heard what the outcome was. And if he was found guilty or not guilty, I don't know, but are they buried? Like, is he kind of being buried because of that? Or I don't know. I'm asking.
I don't really have an answer to that because I don't have the information. And that's the problem with the world right now, is people are speaking up when they don't have the information. And I think that because nothing happened, then I'm going to speculate that there is nothing to happen. I don't know. I'm just fed up with the social media world and everything that comes from it. So I can't really speak to that. So I don't know the answer to that. However, I thought it was a solid match. I was entertained. I think that it had sort of almost like a Walking Dead Escape from New York.
Well, he came out looking like Negan, Velveteen Dream did, which I thought was really good. I popped for when he first came out of the car. I was like, oh, Negan.
That and like it kind of reminded me of like The Warriors, which is a great movie if you haven't seen it. And like, so it had that cool feel with the cars and the headlights. It could have been better. It really could have been better. But honestly, I think it delivered, and I appreciated it. The next match was Karrion Kross versus Tommaso Ciampa in a singles match. I don't know much about Karrion Kross. I think this might be the second or third match. Huh?
Kross.
What did I say?
Moss.
No, I didn't.
Just now you did.
No, I didn't.
We'll go back. We'll rewind it later and listen. I'll leave it in for you so you can hear it.
Leave it in?
Well, because you don't believe me, so I got to prove it to you. It's all right, Karrion Kross. You have Mossman on the mind. I get it. I miss him too. Karrion Kross.
It's only like the second or third match I've seen with him in it, And I mean, he has a great presence. I can't deny that. I just don't know why, like, Karrion Kross, Baron Corbin when he was in WWE, Damian Priest, all these wrestlers have to have this like weird satanic vibe. Are you seeing this?
Yeah, I don't get it either. I don't know. It's like they have to have this gimmick. I don't know, like, and I wasn't super familiar with him from Impact. He was Killer Cross, and he also had Scarlett Bordeaux with him there. But I don't know if that was his gimmick there. I don't think it was. Same with Punishment Martinez, who is Damian. What's his last name now? Whatever you just said. Priest? Damian. Yeah, so he was Punishment Martinez in ROH.
I said Damian, his last name is Benefield.
That's not right, you son of a. Anyways,
Good, I did there?
Yeah, but I'm here. You're not missing me. You wouldn't miss me anyway. Anyways, point is, when he was Punishment Martinez in ROH, I don't think. What the hell? Sound like Kermit the Frog for a second. But
it's the right amount of phlegm.
It was like a whole different octave there. It was, I'll leave that in for you since I'm going to leave in your flub. What?
You say urine?
Urine. I don't know. I blacked out. What happened? When he was Punishment Martinez in ROH, you know, I don't even remember what his gimmick was, but I know it wasn't what it is now. But
It was pretty similar.
Was it?
Yeah, because I remember seeing him at center stage and be like, man, who's this Baron Corbin reject?
Well, I don't know. I just don't know why they feel like they have to give him these. Like, just come out and be a badass. Like, you don't have to be all.
And everything has to have like the dark metal coming out. So do. Like I just get past this. I mean, even Karrion Kross, like that name, like Cross, obviously synonymous with the crucifixion of Christ, right? And just being the Roman form of public execution in the first century. And then Carrion, of course, being what you would call a dead animal or something. Like really, you want to bring all those things to mind. It's just like kind of like it's hogwash to me.
Hogwash?
Hogwash.
Wow.
I just get tired of like, I mean, I don't even know if I'd want to go see an NXT show because I would just have to hear those low freaking guitar chugs the entire time.
Well, the one thing I will say about that match is that they've made Tommaso Ciampa into this like badass, and he's kind of known as like almost like the locker room leader of NXT, but he's known as like a top tier main event talent for NXT. And I get that they're trying to push Cross and make him into this star as if people didn't already know him from Impact, because he's new to a lot of the audience probably, and so they're trying to push him to the moon, I guess. But I don't know if a squash match was the answer. Like, I feel like they could have had a good, solid match, and he could have still gone over and won the match. But I'm just not sure why they made it a squash match. I don't know, because it's Ciampa. Like, it wasn't a jobber. It wasn't an enhancement talent. I don't know.
I personally have a theory, like with all these gothic macabre characters that we're talking about. I think that they're like searching for the next Undertaker, and I think they've been doing that since Bray Wyatt, because they know they have to pass that torch to somebody.
Why not Bray though?
It should have been Bray at WrestleMania Dallas or whenever it was.
Yeah.
Whatever that was, 32 or something like that. That should have been who the new quote unquote taker should have been. But who knows what kind of backstage politics are involved in that? I don't know if there's any. I don't know. I'm speculating. But that's why I think I keep on seeing all these Baron Corbins and Damian Priest and Karrion Krosses come out, is I think that they're trying to find that next Undertaker. That's just my weird conspiracy theory. But I will say that Scarlett Bordeaux.
What about her?
That's all I can say about that.
That's all I got to say about that.
She's fine.
Is that your new girl?
Maybe. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I
see, though. Look, I could see you on camera. There's a little twinkle in that eye.
I'm not saying it's love.
With a tear in his eye.
I'm not saying it's love, but it might be.
Really?
Might be love. I don't know.
Wow. All right.
Hey, you're making me blush. The next match was the main event, a triple threat match for the NXT Women's Championship. Io Shirai, Charlotte Flair, who was the champion going in, and Rhea Ripley. Hell of a match.
It was an amazing match. I and it was one of those, I don't really have a dog in the fight. I really didn't have any feelings on like who should win or who I wanted to win. I knew it was going to be a good match because I know all three of them are super talented. It was a great match, and it was really cool to see Io Shirai win it. I thought maybe Rhea Ripley was going to, just because it would kind of get some payback for her losing it at Mania. And everybody thought that was too short of a time for her to have the belt. And so I thought, okay, here's her chance to get it back. But like I said, I was kind of cool with any of them winning it. But it was cool for her. And I think I did see online, I think Bully Ray, whatever his Twitter handle is now, was talking about before the match started that I guess Io Shirai and Hana Kimura were good friends or worked together or something. Anyways, he was saying, I hope it goes to Io Shirai in honor of Hana Kimura. So whether that played into the decision to let her go over, I don't know. But either way, I thought it was cool that she won, and it was a cool moment. And it kind of, they did the whole confetti thing after she won, and it just looked a little odd in an empty arena without the huge crowd. But it was still cool, I guess, that they did it. But it just looks, all that stuff, even when like Drew McIntyre won at Mania and they're trying to make this huge deal out of it, it just looks odd when it's a little tiny arena and nobody's in there.
When the crowd is not doing it.
Right.
And that's the thing. That's what I got from that. And like one of the commentators, when all the confetti and streamers are going out, were like, "It reminds me of Japan."
Oh yeah.
And that's freaking nerdy, man. It's just like,
well, see, in Japan, the fans throw the streamers. They don't just shoot out of a cannon like they did at their NXT show. But
it was a great look. I'm glad we have a new champion, and because I don't think it should ever been on Charlotte in the first place. That's another episode. But anyway, man, I do want to update the meanies before we close down. The Major Wrestling Figure Podcast has like created this huge demand for the wrestling figures that I want to collect. So I'm still on the hunt. But dude, 123 Kid is going, like the Hasbro 123 Kid is going for like $800 to $1,000 right now.
I feel like it goes up every time you mention it.
Because we have thousands of meanies, and they're going out there and trying to get it for me, and then they see how good it is, so they keep it for themselves.
Listen, meanies. Enough. I know we asked for your help initially, but you're making the price get higher and higher, and it's just getting out of control, and it's enough. Hey, by the way, speaking of Matt Cardona, I reached out to him.
Oh yeah?
I got a reply.
What'd he say?
So he has people that answer his emails, because some guy named Brian, because it wasn't, and I don't think it was Brian Myers. I don't think it was Brian Myers. It could be. Maybe he has Brian Myers answering his emails. But
I have people who check my emails. For the
Alfred. Alfred does.
I mean, just because their names are Alfred doesn't mean it's.
You don't want Alfred replying to people for you, though. Trust me.
Whatever.
I'm just saying. Anyways, we got a reply, and yeah, we got shot down. So don't look.
Did you tell him I was there?
I said A.Bomb2Sweet, #1 fan, and nothing. We got shot down.
Did you dream about him?
You know what? Maybe I should reply to the rejection email and say, well, how about this? What if I told you that one of our co-hosts, A.Bomb2Sweet, had a dream about you? I'll try that and see what happens. I mean, the worst they could say is no a second time, right?
Dude, just say, A.Bomb2Sweet, Adam Howell is a huge fan. He loves you, and he had a dream about you, and you should be on the podcast to answer about the dream.
Why would that not work?
I don't know. I think it's going to work.
I'm going to try it.
Brandon, you don't have many great ideas, but I think you just had one.
There you go. We're going to try it and see what happens. So we will update you guys next week. I have a feeling, though, because I'll send it right after we get done recording. I have a feeling we probably won't get a response to this one. I'm just saying. But you never know. You never know.
Send a picture of me in the email.
Do you have a particular picture you want me to send?
This
what about those 8x10s? Remember when we made the 8x10s to give out to people?
No, just do a freeze frame.
And how about I send them a signed Unbiased Journalistic Integrity T-shirt, signed with a black marker.
He'll love it.
Anyways, we'll see. We'll butter him up and see if we can get him on, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Not like butter him up, like physically. I mean, we could. Maybe that would work too. Maybe if I tell him that.
For a quick basting here. All right, ring the bell.
Anyways, yeah, ring the bell. We're tapping out, and yeah, we'll see you next week. Ask him!
Hey, I got you.